Have you ever stopped to think about how an idea, a simple thought in your own head, actually makes it out into the world and moves people? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to follow that entire journey, from that first flicker of an idea to a full-blown public presentation. Come on, you know you have. We've all been there, right? You're just standing there, replaying some conversation from earlier, and bam, the perfect comeback, the most brilliant point, it just hits you. And in the privacy of your own mind, you absolutely nail it. Argument 1. You know, that little internal victory isn't just you being clever. It's actually the very first step on a much bigger journey. To really see how this all plays out, let's follow someone. We'll call her Maya. She's got this amazing idea she needs to get support for. Okay, so before Maya even dreams of telling another soul about her project, she's got to convince herself first. Right now, she's running through all the details, poking holes in her own arguments, basically playing devil's advocate with herself to build up the confidence she's going to need later. So this whole process, it actually has a name. It's called intrapersonal communication. It's that constant inner monologue we all have running. It's where ideas are born, where we test them out, and where we get our thoughts straight before we share them with anyone else. But let's be real, an idea that just stays in your head is, well, it's just a dream. To make it happen, Maya has to get other people involved. And this is where things start to get way more complex, because the audience is about to get a lot bigger. Maya starts small. She grabs a coffee with a colleague she really trusts. This is interpersonal communication. You know, that back and forth one-on-one chat that is literally the foundation of all our relationships. It's the perfect place to get some honest, unfiltered feedback and start building a little momentum. That one-on-one chat was super helpful, gave her some really focused feedback. But to get this project off the ground, she needs the whole team in on it. And, well, that's a whole different ballgame. We're jumping from a simple duet to a full-on ensemble conversation. And boom, welcome to group communication. Now Maya isn't just handling one person's opinion. Nope. She's juggling a bunch of different perspectives, trying to navigate team politics and somehow get everyone to agree. The difficulty level just spiked. Then, the big day. Maya's standing in front of senior management, the whole department, everyone. This right here, this is public communication. She's the main event. And the feedback she's getting, you know, the applause, the tough questions, even just watching people's faces, it's not as direct, but man, is it important. So let's just recap. Over one single project, Maya went through all 4 levels of communication. It started with that conversation in her own head, moved to a one-on-one chat, then a team huddle, and finally the big presentation. See how each level builds on the one before it? Each one needs a totally different set of skills. Okay, so we've seen what Maya did, but what about how it all worked? What was actually happening under the surface during that big pitch? To figure that out, we need to look at the blueprints of communication, the models that show us how it's all put together. The best way to think about these communication models is like they're the wiring diagrams for a conversation. They show us exactly how a message gets from point A to point B and all the things that can help it or, you know, mess it up along the way. And our understanding of these wiring diagrams has seriously evolved over time. I mean, it all started way back with Aristotle, who was focused on the art of persuasion. Then, fast forward to the 20th century, and with tech like the telephone, we started getting these very scientific, transmission-focused models, which eventually led us to the much more complex, interactive views we have today. So let's start with a classic, the linear model. This model sees communication as a simple one-way street. So Maya, the sender, encodes her idea into words and slides. That message travels down a channel to her audience, the receivers, who then decode it. But the tricky part is noise. And that can be anything from a faulty projector to, frankly, an audience member who's just daydreaming about what's for lunch. But wait a minute, does that one-way street model really tell the whole story? I mean, what about the people in the audience nodding along, or that guy in the back with his arms crossed and a skeptical look? The linear model kind of ignores all that, and that's a huge piece of the puzzle. We need something more dynamic. And that brings us to the transactional model. Now this sees communication less like a one-way street and more like a dance. In this dance, Maya and her audience are partners. They are both sending and receiving signals at the exact same time. She's not just talking at them, she's constantly reading their faces and adjusting her delivery. The meaning isn't just sent, it's created together, shaped by everything from the temperature of the room to the shared history of the people in it. This quote just nails it. It perfectly sums up this transactional idea. Communication isn't step one, then step two, then step three. No, it's this messy, complex, beautiful, and ongoing process where everyone is participating all at once. So let's put them side by side. The linear model, that's a monologue. It's all about pushing your message out. The transactional model, that's a true dialogue. It's about creating meaning together. And in that model, the context isn't just a distraction. In a lot of ways, the context is the message. Okay, so we've traveled from a shower argument to a corporate boardroom, from ancient Greece to today. What does all this mean for you? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. These aren't just some dusty old theories. They're practical, powerful tools you can start using right now. When you understand what level of communication you're operating on and which model is in play, you become so much more intentional. You can actually start to see why a conversation might be going off the rails, and, more importantly, you'll have the tools to know how to fix it. So I've got a little challenge for you. The very next conversation you have, just for a second, try to step outside of it. Ask yourself, what level are we on? Is this a one-way street, or are we really dancing together? And how can knowing that help you not just to talk, but to actually truly connect?